A new wildfire threatening Colorado homes.
It's just so dry. It's just, once it gets going, that's it.
Tonight, we're live in northern Colorado where firefighters are on scene battling the flames.
Windy and dry conditions contributing to fire danger when we could finally see some relief.
Ready to rumble. The Nuggets and Warriors ready to tip off tomorrow night here on Denver 7.
I'm Nick Rothschild in San Francisco, breaking down everything you need to know ahead of Game 1.
Good Friday, Passover, Ramadan, how Coloradans of faith are observing this day.
We start in northern Colorado tonight, where a wildfire is threatening homes near the Larimer-Boulder County line.
Tonight, homes on several roads just north of Lyons have been evacuated as crews try to get the 37E fire under control.
Larimer County Sheriff says as of this evening, it is 300 acres and 0% contained. 130 firefighters from several agencies are on the scene battling this blaze.
So let's get to tonight's team coverage. Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson is tracking fire conditions. First, Denver 7's Rob Harris is live in Lyons tonight, hearing from people who've had to leave their homes behind. Rob?
Yeah, and they were really worried not only about what this fire means for their homes today and tomorrow and through the night, but really what it means going forward, because they've seen so much fire activity so early in the year, and summer's just around the corner.
Within 15 minutes, the sky was smoky and ash was starting to come down.
Eric Malmberg dropped everything and drove up from Boulder to help his son and daughter-in-law evacuate their home. On the way, he is reliving his own experiences from the Marshall and NCAR fires.
I don't remember any series of time like this. I mean, there have been fires in the past, but not repeatedly like this, and who knows how they're starting.
Aaron Titus knows the toll fires can take, not just on the land, but on our emotions.
Every fire is different, every disaster is different, and it is natural and normal to feel triggered in a time like this, but it's okay.
Titus works for a group called Voluntary Organizations Active in Disasters, VOAD for short.
Fires are unpredictable, and we're not out of the woods until we're out of the woods, right? But everything that I saw up there gave me hope that things are going to be okay.
So, Ann, Shannon, as you mentioned, we're looking at about 300 acres that have burned so far, 0% contained. But the good news, though, is that here in Lyons and just north of here, the winds have come down substantially, as have the temperatures, and the relative humidity has gone up. So they're saying the fire is laying low at the moment. That's expected overnight, and so firefighters are feeling good at the moment. They're going to really attack it tomorrow as the sun comes up and as those temperatures come back up, too. Back to you.
That is encouraging. All right. Thank you, Rob. Another wildfire ignited today in Colorado Springs. This small grass fire burned along I-25 near Tejon Street. Firefighters were able to get the fire out before it could get out of control.
And gusty winds and the dry conditions contributing to these fires are expected to continue for the next few days.
Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson continues our team coverage right now. And Mike, when will we see these winds die down for good?
Ann and Shannon, they've died down for tonight, which is good news. Tomorrow, I don't see a lot of really strong winds. Sunday is more of a concern as the winds are going to pick up again. And actually, the winds are coming now from the east and pushing back up against where that fire has developed. We've had a little bit of precipitation that has formed in the form of very light rain and snow. There are air quality warnings in effect across Boulder County and Larimer County because of the smoke from this. A little bit of moisture tonight, but not really enough to make much of a difference. There are still fire weather warnings to the south of us. The humidities have come up. The temperatures have gone down, now down to 36 in Denver, 44 degrees in Fort Collins. Humidities are higher tonight. There's not a lot of moisture in the forecast. Unfortunately, the dry weather continues on the plains. There's a bit of mountain snow. I am afraid the winds kick up again on Sunday and warm and dry weather for early next week. There is some moisture in the 7-day forecast. I'll share that with you coming up in about 10 minutes.
All right, Mike. From the 37E fire there in Larimer County to the NCAR fire 3 weeks ago in Boulder, been a very active month for wildfires in Colorado. In Boulder, though, mitigation efforts really helped to slow the NCAR fire spread, keeping it from reaching any homes or businesses. Those efforts include livestock grazing and forest thinning, leaving shorter grass and fewer trees to fuel the fire.
The fact that there was less fuel on the ground and it burned less intensely gave us an opportunity to kind of jump on the fire quicker and hopefully, have a direct impact on the size and the extent of the fire.
Boulder plans to expand the grazing and tree thinning program to treat more areas.
Boulder County is launching a new website to help people who lost their homes in the Marshall Fire. The county says the Rebuilding Better website has easy-to-follow guidance on finding a design and construction team, choosing materials and equipment, and implementing wildfire-resistant landscaping.
Easter, Passover, Ramadan, a weekend full of major religious holidays.
At the Vatican today, Pope Francis presided over the Good Friday service. In Christian religions, Good Friday commemorates the crucifixion of Jesus on the cross. And on this Good Friday, the war in Ukraine is top of mind for so many. At the Ukrainian Catholic Church in North Denver, several parishioners have strong ties to Ukraine. Some born there, others still have family in the country. Well, the church has been raising money to support Ukrainian forces and others hurting amid Russia's invasion. So on this Good Friday, parishioners tell Denver 7, like Jesus rose from the dead, they believe Ukraine will rise again, too.
Even though we're sad on the Good Friday, we're always hopeful because on Sunday is resurrection and Christ rose from the dead, and it's the happiest day of the year. So we're hoping that Ukraine will rise also from all this horror.
The church continues to raise money to help people in Ukraine, so if you would like to donate, you can visit the church's website, transfigurationdenver.org.
Colorado's Jewish community also has Ukraine in their hearts as they mark the beginning of Passover. The Chabad of Northwest Metro Denver, that's in Westminster, is serving matzah that was made in Ukraine at their Passover Seder, a tradition they've had for years as the bakery where the bread is made, a world-famous supplier of matzah. And of course, with the situation in Europe, this year is a little different.
The owner of the Matzah bakery in Ukraine is a good friend of mine, a colleague of mine from many, many years. And I'm just awed by his tenacity, his strength, his courage to remain in Ukraine, the city of Dnipro, continue baking matzah for the communities around Ukraine, as none of his matzah can actually leave.
So if you're wondering they're able to have matzah this year because they got their shipment in December before Russia's invasion.
And along with Passover and Easter, Colorado's Muslim community is observing Ramadan. Ramadan's the 9th month on the Islamic calendar and commemorates Muhammad's first revelation. And it's a time for Muslims to fast from sunrise to sunset as a sign of solidarity with the impoverished and to focus on spirituality and giving.
It's a time for reflection, time for meditation, time for thinking about the things that you take for granted, time to share with others who struggle or have food insecurity to see what that feels.
The downtown Denver Islamic Center holds a dinner every night after sunset when it's time to break their fast. And in Colorado, there are about 100,000 Muslims.
All right. Nuggets ready to resume their quest for that elusive NBA championship.
Game 1 of the opening round series against the Golden State Warriors tips off tomorrow night at 6:30 right here on Denver 7. And Denver 7 sports anchor Nick Rothschild is live outside the Chase Center in San Francisco, where it will be a packed house tomorrow, Nick.
And yes, it's a big, beautiful new building that will be full of Warriors fans who believe it's their God-given right to move on to the next round of the playoffs. I gotta tell you, talking to fans today and listening to sports radio in this town, they think this is just a straight return to the glory days of the 20-teens. Steph, Clay, Draymond, all back. They're gonna waltz through the Nuggets right through to the Western Conference semifinals and into the finals. Absolutely not, okay? I think the Nuggets have a real chance to win this game. We'll talk about that more coming up in sports.
Going the distance.
What's the big thing in Colorado that I could do? Oh, the boulder.
A Colorado woman ready to run just months after a life-changing injury.
60s and 70s today and not too windy. Will it stay this nice for the rest of the weekend?
And an arrest made after the victim of an attack reaches out to contact Denver 7 for help.